Hi, good evening to Madam Shamini. So I'm here, Nivashni, along with Yamuna and Shunita. So we are here to talk about the activities based on language skill that we have created from ourselves. So yeah, we would like to move on with. Okay, so this will be myself again, Nivashni, Yamuna, and also Shunita. So I would like to introduce what is it about that we have conducted and also created the activities. So firstly, we have chosen from four topics which will be addressing the four language skills, which are speaking, writing, listening, and also reading. So we are more into emphasizing in mastering a language, especially English, which is very vital and also important for the students in the school. So we will like to take up the responsibility as as an educator to help the students in order to improve their language abilities, as how I have mentioned before. So in order to teach a students to accomplish their understanding or to achieve the objectives, I we believe that teaching materials are very essential, and also they are crucial in teaching and also learning process. So in here we will introduce few teaching materials that might help our teaching process in the schools. So actually this will be helping the students to also learn concepts on skills and also collaborate their ideas and thoughts in several ways creatively, actually to be said, because since this is 21st century, we will be more into advancing and also make them to think in a very advanced way and also level. So yeah, let's look at it.
My name is Yamuna. For my part, listening, which is I choose three activities. For the first activity, listen and draw a story. Okay, students should listen and draw to a new story or based on the story. For the description of the activity is the idea of turning students into illustrators is used in this lesson. And also, the conductions of the activity is students must first draw a picture with the poem's criteria and themes that explain their work to their friends and explains the pictures below. Okay, students will draw a picture based on what they listen to the audio, and then they will came up with their drawing, and then they will explain to them their friends about what they have learned in what they have listened in the poem before. And the strength of the activity is to encourage students to use English in a creative way so they never get bored with the lessons. Okay, for the teaching materials, students will use A4 paper and teachers will use a projector as a slide and speaker and color pencils to draw and color the picture. This is my first activity that I choose for topic poem My Hero. Second is topic unit 7, which is journeys. The activity's name is What's My Problem? Okay, this is a unique game or activity which we can say that this is an excellent game for practicing giving advice. So everyone will never accept their advice. For example, someone will accept, someone will not accept the advice. But in these activities, everyone should accept the advice and give some advice to others. So the conduct of the activity is pay attention to one post-it notes, write elements or problems related to your most recent lesson, and place on each batch students. Using the sticky notes, students will state the problems or the elements that they are confused and then paste in the student's bag. So each and every student need to do this and need to solve the problems too. So they will get the sticky notes and see what's the matter, problem, and elements, and then they will solve using another sticky note and give it to them. This is a excellent activity or interesting activity too to students gain their knowledge. The strength is students interested and entertained while they learn as you gain confidence in the classroom. Before we give some advice or answer, students will be confident to tell that. So we can build the confidence via this activity. The teaching material is projector and sticky notes. Continuing with the next activity, which is the last activity for listening activity. Make a creative bubble map. Okay, bubble map is a visual representations of word or phrase surrounded by a descriptive word. Okay, students will given a bubble map that has been prepared by the teacher and will listen to the audio that has been played by teacher. Teacher will play the audio in front of the class in the projector or in the speaker. So student will listen carefully to the audio first. And then students will fill in the blanks or fill in the bubbles with the correct solution or the correct answer. For example, the audio is about the importance of what is needs and what is wants. So students will listen carefully about the audio, and then they will fill in the blanks with the bubble map using the importance of needs and the wants. So this is one of the activity that is I selected for listening activity. The strength of the activity is most used to depict and demonstrate relationship between numerical and variables. So the teaching material that I will use is speaker and bubble map. All right, then let's move to reading part. Okay, these are the activities that I choose for readings, which is think, pair, share, dictation, and the lastly is I think map or bubble map. Okay, for the think, pair, share is I just use unit 6 shopping time, and the descriptions of the activity is things think, pair, share is a collaborative learning approach in which students collaborate to solve a problem or answer a question concerning an assigned reading. So a person will think and pair with another one, and then they will share to the whole class. This is the activity. So everyone will think and they will choose a partner or pair to share each other, and then they share to everyone. This is the very interesting and excellent activity to our nowadays because nowadays students like to prefer opinions other than their options. So students like to listen to other options. For example, I choose a laptop as a teaching material to students, projector, speakers, but students choose flashcards, bubble maps, flashcard, bubble map, sticky notes, something like that. So they like to go for creativities. So think, pair, share is one of the best activity that must played in each and every class because there is a link between students. Each and every students will participate in this activity. Everyone will think, everyone will choose a pair to share their opinions, and all together, all the class will share the whole opinions. So the conduct of the activity is like this. Students must read the text or notes below, and then students must create ideas about the topic of financial literacy. Students must study the notes from Unit 6, Part 3 financial topic, shopping time, And then consider financial needs, what's needs versus wants. Okay, the strength of the activity is encourage students to think independently about a topic. So everyone will think about the shopping time, the financial needs versus wants, and also everyone will be encouraged to be independent. The teaching material is textbooks. Okay, moving to the next activity, which is Unit 9 Celebrations in Malaysia. The activity I choose is dictations. All right. Dictation is transcriptions of spoken text. One person reads while another person listens and takes dictations and writes down the words as they are said. Okay, form a pair of two students. One student serve as a reader and while another one serve as a writer. Hold the text you wish to dictate outside the classroom. Place the 5 media control: pause, stop, play, forward, reverse. This is the 5 media control icons on the floor in front of you. The readers rush to you, place their hands on the play icon, and you begin. So the person, the readers will rush to you and will choose the icon. Okay, so then only you will read or write something like that. Okay, this is the interesting activities that we play in our classroom, which is will help enhance your listening and reading abilities. So as fast as they read, you must listen and write. So from here, we can enhance, help you to increase our listening and reading abilities via these activities. The teaching material that we used in this activity is A4 paper and then the icons. All right. Okay, for the last activity, which is third activity that for reading is from Unit 2, Beautiful Garden, I Think, or Bubble Map. Bubble Map we already use at listening activity. So this is for reading activity. I choose once again that I Think Map or Bubble Map, either one lah. So mind mapping is a flexible technique that may help students with many elements of their learning. It's visual representations of knowledge. For the conduction of the activity, student must watch a video and listen carefully that the teacher will stream in front of the class. The students must take the notes and create a mind map based on the video that was just telecasted. Okay, teachers will play a video in front of the students, okay, with the audio too. Okay, video with audio too. So students can listen and also can see what's happening in front of the class. So based on that, students must create a mind map. Maybe teacher will provide a question later on. So you must listen, read the slides before carefully, and then you have to create a I think map or bubble map. So the strength of this activity, bubble map or I think map, is have students to get creative juices flowing. Mind maps are an excellent brainstorming tool that may assist students in allowing their thoughts to flow freely while creating critical connections between ideas and concepts. Okay, the teaching materials that I will use at I think or bubble map is projector and coloring papers. I like to use color papers because color paper will help students look creative, remember very fast. So it will help students. So far that's only from that.
I'm Shritaya. Today I'm going to present about writing. Writing is a core skill that students benefit from throughout the curriculum onward. Writing the foundation of experience we give our students and build their throughout our academic career. We go to the first activity. It's from from two. The topic is journey. Activity first is change stories. This activity conduct in classroom for 1 hour to create the change stories. Description of the activity: student connect word to other word through the associations. Conduct the activity. Each student start with a box of blank color paper and marker pens. After complete the part of the task, pass the color paper to the next next student. Strength of the activity is writing is often seen a solitary, and for that reason alone it may be seen a particular unattractive activity for many of the more social students. Additionally, this activity helps students see writing as a communicative and create a task that does not require them to have the right answer. Teaching material is teaching. Each lesson authorized by the teacher should contain specific learning objective for the curriculum. The teaching material are using that whiteboard. Whiteboard are a great tool to use in classroom because they are allow students to collaborate more effectively, support concept with diagram and installation, and create the presentation for a class discussion and lecture. The second thing is color paper. Using color paper and text instead of co- white paper and black type improve learning and performance. Some claim that writing text on green paper improves students' learning effectively, while others claim that yellow paper improves students' exam performance. The the third tool is textbook. Students learn what is present in textbook. In other words, the way textbook present material, it's the way students learn it. When well-developed textbook are used, students are present with tried and test material based on sound learning principles. The textbook is a convenient package. Okay, we go to the next activity, which is Rotary Scavenger Hunt. The activity also conduct in classroom for 1 hour for design a poem poetry scavenger hunt. Description of the activity is: the poetry is a broad field of the literature offering teacher and students the opportunity to dip their toes or fully impress themselves in create writing. With our 50 reorganizing poetry style, there is much to offer students all age and abilities. Conduct the activity is teacher encourage students hunt out frames of language outside of faculty, home, and community, which will be placed along into poem and poetic collects. Once the scholar have collect their language, they are going to work on making poem from the script. After the student have complete the task for the activity, the teacher shows the students more example of the designs. The teacher then help to students and give a worksheet to them. The strength of activity is the activity allow students to practice problem solving in concerned way. Students work together to solve, and ultimately goal must be achieved. As example above, The activity helps train the mind by engaging solving skills. Teacher can include the encouraging student to move or run from place to place. For this activity, we are using four teaching material tools, which is projector, billboards, flyer, and magazines. For projector free teaching from being tied to chalk and whiteboard to present information to students. With the help of projector, teacher can now use movie slides and photographs to teach students the skill of writing. For billboards are conceptual, the excellent medium for focus on this demography as they can resize their interests whilst students are on their traveling. Flyer are medium to support the teaching and learning of English writing. As interactive feedback, its help makes students more receptive to improving their writing. The purpose of the activity was combine flyer and students' writing skills to rewrite the poem. The flyer uses a targeted a sample technique. Last is magazines. Since the function, the country mirror, students may be in touch with the traditional of the language. They are analysis via magazine especially and related media in general. The third activity is, this is a worksheet for the activity 2. This is a third activity, comic strip script. For this also same, conduct in classroom for 1 hour. For this, description is when word functionally dominate an image, it's become just an installation of the task. Conduct the activity once students have created their silent scripts, begin writing dialogue and piece together panel can do. When it comes to writing, comics are probably one of their easiest thing to sell to unmotivated students. This activity also allows students to write for the language. For strength of the activity is many students can read fluently but have to difficult writing. Much like reading, comics provide a framework for students to success in writing. Students translate certain elements directly to plain text sentence. Comic Life gives students access to a new medium of publication. For this activity, the teaching material are smartboard and comic strip picture. For smartboard, better visual is a great visual example of a comic script. For example, you can highlight or bold important information about a comic script for a lesson. This will draw the student attention and make them more focused. Comic script picture, it also gives students a visual image to anchor the lesson and give them a clear mental picture of the conceptual situation in which the phrase and word you are teaching will be used. That's it for writing. We are going to the second, speaking. Speaking is the element and middle school children learn to speak both English and other language. Speaking is one of the most important part of language learning as it the way communicate in everyday life. Therefore, it's important develop both speaking and listening skill to communicate effectively. We're going to the first activity, which is storytelling. The activity conduct in classroom for 1 hour. The activity for to create, to speak a storytelling. Description of the activity, stories and storytelling is a practical and powerful teaching tool, especially in language learning, offering students the opportunity to hear the language in its content and be introduced to something new words. Conduct the activity is have them use some of the skill they will learn to create and share new stories. This is not required activity, so it doesn't matter if someone declined. Encouraging students to retell their story and receive fresh feedback in the form of thanks and suggestion. She tells the story 2 or 3 times, gets feedback from her classmates, and then invites the class to share her story with the audience. This strength of this activity is the activity way to interact and communicate it's by speaking. As a part of the activity is in classroom, storytelling is also an effective teaching tool to help students focus on the structure of the story. The construct story and this activity facilitates their language development. These activity participants in stories help develop language comprehension and interest in books and learn to read. Storytelling is an active process. Children can reconstruct the text, also allowing interaction between tutor, tutor or teacher and children. The teaching material that use a story while make a story quite by hand alone or with others to tell a story about a moment, event, or emotion that important to you. Create something to decorate your home. Give it as a gift to friends or relative to practice its craft or learn a new skill. You don't need to any specific craft skill to create something truly beautiful, and it's can make students speak clearly, fluently. The second tools that story map. A story map is a graphic organizer that helps students study story element, learning identify the character, plots, setting problem and solution of the story, encouraging students to read carefully to learn important details. We're going to the next activity, which is video talking. Video talking. This game also conduct in classroom going 1 hour. Description of the activity. Find YouTube video topic that might be of interest to your students. Ask some discussion question about the topic presented in the video. Review with the student before watching. Then watch the video together because video bring the outside of the students. Conduct the activity. Students work in pair to predict words and phrase they might watch. They can write a few words in their native language. As students listen to the next text, they underline or circle the correction prediction words or phrase, including their native language. Pair process-based discussion. Students watch about confusion and difference in opinions and speak the new information they have watched and heard. The strength of the activity is one of the greatest benefits of using video in the classroom is the ability to engage students, knowing that you can understand someone who's speaking English is a milestone for many students. Plus, it shows you the language point you students are learn, giving you even more reason to pay attention. For this, the teaching material are using YouTube and TikTok. YouTube, students' speaking skill are influenced by their mastering of pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary fluently, and understanding of speech in the target language. The language that students often hear throughout videos help them practice pronouncing English word correctly. Mime is a pronouncing practice that can be done while watching YouTube videos. To enable students to pronounce words correctly, they can be instructed to record their practice. Sharing video on YouTube motivates students to pronounce pronounce English words better. TikTok, letting students know they can be create TikTok video during class while encouraging them to practice speaking over and over to make the video perfect. We're going to the last activity, which is telephone conversation. This also conduct for 1 hour in the classroom. For this activity, the description is we are a little bit at heighten our true feeling over the phone than it in person. Conduct the activity is one student square measuring finish, raise them to sport phrase that run use face to face. To starting acting on the phone as students type pairing to separate into total different rooms. Students to move to create phone calling as indicated by the worksheet shortcuts. Confirm your students have a particular task in mind once writing their notes. Play different roles in act on your phones. Offer students may follow with totally different role play on the phone. Finally, it's your business surrounding. Don't enable separate phone lines. Use your smartphone and raise students to travel to separate rooms for calls. Bear its mind that students would like hip hop following and engage their phone skills. The strength of the activity is practicing good body language, such as making eye contact, adjustment your tone when communicate with others, and using and approach and become important. This means maintaining good eye contact and posture while speaking confidently. Always speaking confidently about what you are saying or about to say to engage your communication, interacting with others. For this, the teaching material is telephone. Phone supports wireless transmit sound. On finish of the phone inscription, an electric or associate transducer for speaking. The bottom connect of the phone to electric Tora wires. When a student speak into the phone, electro outset transducer converts the student's voice into an electrical signs signal. And the signal reacts once the signal reach the wave finish phones, the speakers convert into the sound of the student's voice. That's from me. Thank you.
Okay, as for myself, I have taken in charge of the grammar. So there is an activity that I have created for grammar especially. So that will be an activity that is to create songs or rap about grammar. So this will be more likely to be a fun activity for students to, participate and also do, so that they won't be feeling bored or boredom wouldn't be striking for them. So this will be a good start for them to love grammars. Okay. So we would like to see at the description. So basically, this activity is all about students to create their songs using grammatical words. Okay, words like a verb, like a tenses, like phrases, like nouns. They can use anything to create their songs, but the rule is to include the grammatical words. So the conduct of the activity is each group has to come up and present their songs to the entire class. Okay, so which means they will be given a worksheet, so they need to write on their songs on that worksheet, and also they have to come up to in front of the class and present their songs in in a recording manner. Okay, they need to record it, they need to do their music thing by their own. It's more like a composing their songs on their own, but in an educational way. All right, so based on this activity, the strength of the activity is it helps students to learn and also understand the grammatical terms. Okay, so as far as we know that, most of the students, especially those who do not like language, they are not really fond of grammars, and they hate, they're not to say hate, they are like not really interested to learn grammars. So this will be a good start, or also a great step for them to make, in order for them to, bring some interest in learning grammar. Okay, so for this activity, I have came up with a few teaching materials that will open the students' eyes. So they are projector as usual. So in order to for them to have a reference on doing these songs, they surely need a book. So I have used an English grammar book, which is a reference book for them to refer, and also MP3 audio device, and also microphones, mini microphones, audio recorder, and also roll papers for them to choose what subtopic in grammar they got in. So based on that, they have to create their songs. So that's all for grammar activity. So let's move on to the conclusion. That is the last part. Okay, so as we how can we conclude is like, looking at all these activities that I shown, my friends have shown, so we can see that this next generation of educators, the future teachers, they really have the potential to transform the field of education to a next level, or to a more progressive one compared to 10 years back. Okay, so which means the upcoming teachers are more creative, and also they have the integrity to bring lessons into reality, and also they want students to face the reality as well. So in order to make them, they have to make their classes interesting, and also in a very meaningful manner. Yeah. Okay, so second is, now the teaching method and also the teaching materials that teachers use should be a correct combination of creativity and also content that is used in their education, especially students education. Okay, so which means there should be a lot of creativity, as in there should be a lot of efforts, a lot of methods, a lot of theories that should be applied when they are, coming up with many activities. And most importantly, activities shouldn't be repeated again and again, because it might trigger the students into boredom. So the third one is, this will be a very important progress, which is we call as significant progress in students' linguistic abilities. So abilities we can see as skills. Okay, so the skills will be language skills. They are speaking, listening, writing, and also reading. So these kind of methods and this kind of lesson, okay, might be an eye opener for the students who are about to start their learning in grammar. So that's all from us today. Thank you so much.